Hello everyone, I'm Sudha Udaya. Welcome to today's unit in the Building and Construction Programme. Before we begin, I want to remind you of the purpose of this programme. Each unit is designed to give you the knowledge, skills and industry behaviours required to become a competent and confident building practitioner in Australia. Throughout this course, I'll be drawing on more than 30 years of hands-on experience in residential and commercial construction. My goal is to connect the theory directly to real project situations, showing you how the National Construction Code, Victorian regulations, WHS requirements, and industry standards apply on actual work sites. As we move through each topic, think about how these principles translate into the decisions builders and site managers make every day. By the end of each unit, you should feel more prepared to apply these concepts in practical, safe, and compliant ways on the job. Let's get started. Today's session is Module 3, Volume 2, Section 1, Establish Business Plan, Part 1. In building and construction, a business plan is not just a document for banks or investors. It becomes your operating guide for how you win work, deliver projects, manage people, control risks, and stay compliant in Australia. In this session, we will cover organisational framework and structure, vision, mission, objectives, values, and standards, policies, procedures, and standard operating procedures, legislative framework and required permits or licenses, strategic, business and operational plans, market research, competitors and marketing approaches, performance objectives, KRAS, measures and stakeholder consultation. What a business plan does in construction. A business plan answers three practical questions. Where are we going? How will we get there? How will we know we're on track? In construction, your business plan should connect to real operational realities such as tendering and pipeline of upcoming work, labour and subcontractor capacity, cash flow timing across progress claims, compliance obligations across WHS, environment, building regulations and licensing, quality expectations under contracts and the National Construction Code. A good plan reduces guesswork. It helps you make consistent decisions even when projects are busy, staffing changes, or market conditions shift. Organisational framework. Your organisational framework is the system that holds the business together. It explains how the business functions day to day and how decisions are made. In a building company, the framework usually includes the type of business, sole trader, partnership, company structure, governance, who has authority for finance, contracts, hiring and risk decisions, roles and responsibilities across estimating, project management, site supervision, admin and accounts, communication and reporting lines, how performance is monitored and improved. Without a clear framework, you often see confusion like who approved this variation or who is responsible for compliance reporting. Vision, mission, and business objectives. A strong business plan begins with clarity about direction. Vision describes the long-term future you want to build. Example, becoming a trusted medium-sized builder delivering sustainable projects across your state. Mission describes what you do every day and for whom. Example, delivering safe, compliant, high-quality residential and small commercial builds on time and within contract requirements. Business objectives convert vision into measurable outcomes such as revenue growth targets, improving on-time completion rate, increasing repeat client work, reducing defects and rework, improving safety and environmental performance. Business values. Values shape behaviour, especially under pressure. In construction, pressure shows up as tight deadlines, cost overruns, subcontractor issues and client changes. Common values in building businesses include safety first, integrity in quoting, contracts and claims, quality workmanship, respect for workers, clients and communities, environmental responsibility, accountability and teamwork. Values should be visible in how you operate, not only written on a website. For example, if safety first is a value, It should appear in inductions and toolbox talks, supervisor expectations, subcontractor agreements, and decision-making when timelines are tight. Business standards. Business standards define how good is good enough in your organization. In construction, standards often cover quality benchmarks and acceptable tolerances, documentation standards, what records must be kept and where, customer service standards, communication, response time, complaints handling, site presentation standards, signage, access control, cleanliness, WHS and environmental minimum controls, contract administration standards, variations, RFIs, approvals, progress claims. Standards make performance consistent across sites and supervisors. They also protect your business if there is a dispute, because you can demonstrate that you work to a known, repeatable standard. Organizational policies and procedures. Policies state your organization's rules and expectations. Procedures explain the steps to follow. Typical policies in an Australian construction business include work health and safety policy, environmental management policy, equal opportunity and workplace behaviour policy, quality policy, financial delegations and purchasing policy, complaints and dispute management policy. Procedures then make these practical. For example, incident reporting procedure, site inspection procedure, purchase order approval procedure, variation approval procedure. A business plan should reference these policies and procedures because they shape how work is delivered and controlled. Standard operating procedures. Standard operating procedures, SOPs, are the how-to guides that keep work consistent. They reduce errors, improve quality, and support training of new staff. SOPs might exist for site startup and mobilization, daily pre-start checks and toolbox talks, subcontractor onboarding and site rules, quality inspections at key stages, handling variations and client changes, managing defects and handover, progress, claim preparation and supporting evidence, material delivery, storage and waste handling. Good SOPs are short, clear and used regularly, not long documents that nobody opens. In your business plan, SOPs support operational reliability and scalability as the business grows. Organizational structures. Organizational structure is about how people are arranged and how decisions flow. In building businesses, you might see a small structure where the owner handles estimating, contracts and project management, a functional structure estimating team, construction team, admin, accounts, a project-based structure, project managers and site teams operating under a construction manager, a hybrid structure, shared estimating and admin, but project delivery teams per site. Your structure should match your business plan goals. For example, if your strategy is to expand into larger commercial work, you may need stronger contract administration, programming capability, and dedicated site management support. Legislative framework. Construction businesses operate in a highly regulated environment. Your business plan must recognize legal obligations, so compliance is planned, not accidental. Key legal areas commonly include building and construction regulation in your state or territory, National Construction Code requirements influencing design and delivery, work health and safety laws and duties, environmental obligations, approvals and controls, workplace relations obligations under Fair Work requirements, tax and superannuation obligations, privacy and record-keeping responsibilities, contract law and security of payment processes. A practical business plan identifies how you will stay compliant, who is responsible, and what systems or procedures support that compliance. Permits and licenses required. Most building businesses require permits and licenses depending on location and work type. Your plan should list what you need and how you maintain it. Examples include builder or contractor license registration in your state or territory, trade licenses for specialist work, where applicable, development approvals and building permits for projects, traffic management permits, hoarding permits, or road occupancy permits for site works. environmental permits for certain activities, noise, waste, erosion controls, plant and equipment licenses or high-risk work licenses where required. Good planning means tracking renewal dates, ensuring insurance requirements align with license conditions. Confirming subcontractors also hold required licenses before engagement. Strategic, business and operational plans. A business plan often includes 3 planning layers: strategic plan, long-term direction, markets, services, business positioning, growth intentions. Business plan, the overall roadmap that links strategy to finance, staffing, systems, and operations. Operational plans, short-term implementation, what will be done this quarter, this month, and on each project. In construction, strategy might say, we will grow in the townhouse and small commercial market. The business plan then includes resources, marketing approach, staffing plan, financial forecasts, and compliance systems. Operational plans then drive tender schedules, training plans, subcontractor engagement timing, and project delivery controls. Operational plans. Operational plans are where the business plan becomes real work. They translate goals into actions, owners, and timelines. Operational plans in a building business may include pipeline and tender plan, what you will bid, when, and with what resources. Workforce plan, recruitment, training, subcontractor capacity. Procurement plan, lead times, supplier agreements, purchasing controls. Systems plan, software, templates, document control, reporting. Compliance plan, WHS, environmental, licensing, audits, financial operations, cash flow planning, progress claims cycles, debt management. A good operational plan is detailed enough to guide weekly and monthly decisions, but still flexible enough to adjust when projects change. The importance of a market requirements review. The market decides what work is available, what clients value, and what competitors are offering. That's why a market requirements review is essential. In construction, market review helps you understand which sectors are growing: residential, commercial, renovations, civil works, client priorities, cost, speed, quality, sustainability, design, flexibility, typical contract types in your market, lump sum, cost plus, design and construct, labor and material supply conditions, risks affecting pricing, interest rates, approvals delays, subcontractor shortages. Without market review, businesses often chase the wrong work, price incorrectly, or expand too quickly into areas where they are not competitive. How to conduct market research and analysis. Market research does not have to be complicated, but it must be structured. Practical methods include reviewing building approvals and development trends in your region, tracking tender opportunities and success rates, speaking with suppliers and subcontractors about market demand and capacity, surveying past clients to understand why they chose you, reviewing competitor websites, branding, service offerings, and project types, analyzing internal business data, profit margins, defect levels, project delays. The key output is insight into what your market needs, what clients are willing to pay for, where your business has a strong advantage, and where you need improvement before expanding. Review of marketing approaches. Marketing for a building business is about trust, credibility, and relationships, not just advertising. Marketing approaches can include referrals and repeat clients, often the strongest channel, pre-qualification panels and builder registrations, local networking, real estate agents, architects, engineers, developers, digital presence, website case studies, testimonials, project photos, community reputation, how you manage site impacts, complaints, and communication. Strategic partnerships with designers or consultants. Your business plan should describe your target market, how you will reach them, and what makes you different. Speed, quality systems, sustainability, communication, or specialist capability. Identify and assess business requirements. Business requirements are what you must have in place to deliver your plan. Typical requirements include people, skills, licenses, supervision capacity, systems, estimating templates, project management processes, document control, finance, cash reserves, access to credit, budgeting approach, supply chain, reliable subcontractors and suppliers, agreed rates where possible, risk controls, WHS, environment, quality inspections, contract administration. Technology, software for estimating, scheduling, accounting, job costing. A strong business plan clearly states what you currently have, what you need to build or improve, and the timeline and cost to implement those improvements. Identify and assess objectives and financial targets. Financial targets make the plan measurable. They also stop growth from becoming uncontrolled. Targets might include revenue targets by year, gross margin targets per project type, overhead cost limits, cash flow targets, minimum cash buffer, debtor days targets, how quickly clients pay, equipment investment budgets and expected returns. Business objectives should also connect to operational performance, such as improving tender win rate, reducing defects at handover, improving on-time completion, and reducing subcontractor rework and variations caused by errors. When targets are realistic and tracked regularly, the business plan becomes a management tool, not a once-a-year document. Identify and assess competitors. Competitor analysis helps you position your business intelligently. In construction, competitors can include builders of similar size and capability, specialist contractors who offer design and build packages, larger builders entering your market, new entrants competing heavily on price. You should assess what types of projects they target, their pricing style, premium, mid-market, low cost, their reputation, quality, speed, disputes, communication, their marketing presence, website, branding, case studies, their capability, systems, staff depth, subcontractor networks. The goal is not to copy competitors, but to identify where you can differentiate and where you must improve to compete sustainably. Identify and assess established plans and management arrangements. Before writing new plans, review what already exists in the business. This may include current budgets and job costing methods, existing policies and procedures, templates, contracts, variations, purchase orders, site checklists, management reporting, monthly financial reports, site reports, KPI dashboards, current subcontractor agreements and supplier arrangements, existing WHS and environmental documentation. This review helps you identify what is working well and should remain, what is missing or outdated, what needs to be standardized across projects and where responsibilities are unclear. A business plan is strongest when it builds on real existing operations and improves them step by step. Develop performance objectives and measures in consultation with stakeholders. A business plan becomes more realistic when you consult stakeholders because they understand operational challenges and customer expectations. Relevant stakeholders may include business owners and directors, project managers and site supervisors, accounts and administration staff, key subcontractors and suppliers, clients or repeat customers, industry partners, architects, engineers, consultants. Methods for consultation include structured meetings and workshops, one-on-one interviews, surveys for staff feedback, and reviewing project lessons learned and close-out reports. Consultation improves buy-in. When people feel involved, they are more likely to support implementation instead of seeing the plan as management paperwork. Performance objectives, KRAS, and measuring performance. Performance objectives explain what success looks like. KRAS, key result areas. Group performance into major categories. Measures prove whether results are being achieved. Common KRAS for a building business plan include financial performance, profit margins, cash flow stability, delivery performance, time, cost, variations, defects, customer outcomes, repeat work, complaints, satisfaction, compliance, WHS, incidents, audit outcomes, environmental compliance, people, staff retention, training completion, subcontractor performance. Measuring performance can include monthly reporting dashboards, project review meetings, comparing results against budgets and targets, and tracking trends across multiple projects. To summarize Module 3, Volume 2, Section 1, establish business plan. We covered the foundation elements, organizational framework, structure, policies, procedures, and SOPs, vision, mission, objectives, values, and standards, legislative framework, plus required permits and licenses, the relationship between strategic plans, business plans, and operational plans. We then focused on building a strong plan through market and performance thinking, conducting market research and reviewing marketing approaches, identifying business requirements, objectives, financial targets, and competitors, reviewing existing plans and management arrangements, consulting stakeholders, and creating performance objectives, KRAS, and measures. When these pieces work together, a business plan becomes a practical guide for sustainable growth and consistent project delivery. Don't forget, our LMS contains interactive learning video series. Please watch them as part of your study and link them to today's session. To support your study, we've introduced the AI Playbook. This tool simulates assessment questions and provides guidance. You can access it from your assessments. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Sudha Udaya, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.